Steve Peterson here. Welcome to our channel. We talk all things commercial and investment real estate. And today's video, we got a controversial topic. We're going to be talking about investing in the Golden State of California. Now, I don't know how that's became controversial, but it is. Check out some of these comments I've been getting as I'm posting properties that I have for sale, right? And so I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why you absolutely should consider investing into California, especially if you are a Californian. Now, I'm going to say that if you are a Californian, if you're from somewhere else coming into California, it is difficult. Although I know a lot of people from the East Coast who compare what's going on in California and New York, and they like it, right? They like the weather better. The laws are similar. So people who buy from out of state are typically from New York. They're not from Texas or Florida, right? They're not from the South, Southwest. This is a whole different world, right? So I understand a couple of things, that we are in this state definitely having some challenges. Now, with the U.S. economy, I just saw something this morning about how we having blockbuster growth in the GDP. I think GDP grew about 4-point-something%. And I don't know how that happened. At least in the Bay Area, I don't see no GDP growth. You know, I definitely see a retraction, and it's probably like that in the whole state. Now, that's our state is different. So the United States is not having any contraction. I definitely see a contraction in the Bay Area, all right? In our sectors, in Oakland and San Francisco, San Jose. So it's a tough time. Also, COVID hit us hard, took out a lot of businesses, took out the way we do things for the most part. San Francisco completely was rocked by the pandemic, making a comeback, but just the traditional ways of doing things have changed, right? Violence is up, homelessness is up. We got some challenges, which is the number one reason why you should invest here is because we are in an economic shift. We are in somewhat of a downturn, at least from a real estate market perspective, right? I've been in the business since 2003. People who made the most money that I've seen bought from like 2009 to like 2015. When I remember in 2009, people saying the market was never going to come back. Why would we buy in Oakland particularly? Why would we buy here? Blah, 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 blah. If you bought during that time, you made a lot of money because there was a downturn and you didn't have to negotiate against Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, right? On a multiple offer situation. You were able to make an offer, negotiate the seller down, get an excellent price, right? So the timing was right. Now, if you were buying in 2021, now the interest rates were 2-something%. Y'all remember that? But you were having to outbid everyone and probably severely overpay for your property, and you probably weren't concerned about cash flow. So actually, what was a better time to buy between 2009 and 2015 or 2021 when you got 2% interest rates, right? And anybody, if you bought during those 2 times, give me some feedback, right? So the number one reason you should buy in California, and particularly the Bay Area, right now is because there is an economic shift going on, and you could take advantage of the price points that we're at now and the fact that we haven't had a lot of transactions, so you can negotiate an excellent deal for yourself, right? Why not be a contrarian? Warren Buffett says, hey, when everyone's greedy, be fearful, right? That was 2021. When everyone's greedy, be fearful. He says on the flip side, when everyone's fearful, check out some of these comments. Fearful, when everyone's fearful, be greedy. Don't be like, well, I don't want to buy in California. I'm gonna go out here, the laws and all of that. And I get it. We got bureaucrats up the yin yang, right? But them bureaucrats ain't gonna get me. They're not gonna push me up out of the state. And I know it's a bunch of you guys out there who feel the same way. I don't agree with all the politics and all this way. You Republican, Democrat, they all arguing, and I don't agree with half the stuff that's going on. But we're going to stay resolved to find some excellent deals during this time. And I think you should too as well, especially if you're a Californian, right? Stand strong. Don't let these bureaucrats run you up out of here. Let this be the opportunity for you to find the next great deal. Now, second reason why you should invest in California Bay Area specifically, we have an inordinate amount of rental demand, right? The rental market got a little bit soft in COVID, a lot soft in a city like San Francisco because everybody was out. You couldn't live or move in San Francisco. The demand is coming back though, let me just tell you right now. We just came from showing a building. We're getting $2,700 on a 2-bedroom in deep East Oakland. You heard that right, $2,700 on a 2-bedroom, deep East Oakland, the hood, right? I don't know how much they're renting for in Dallas or Houston or anywhere in Florida in those hoods or wherever, but that's how much we get in the hood. So that means a nicer neighborhood is gonna get more. There's rental demand. We don't have enough housing. Whether you're in LA, the Bay, Sacramento, Central Valley, Bakersfield, Fresno, we all need more housing, right? And the state needs to do something to figure out how we can do that more efficiently. But because of where it's at right now, it's an inordinate amount of demand for housing. There's way more people than there is available housing stock. Because of some of these crazy laws, you can't just go and build like you could in Texas. In Texas, you can just build everywhere you want to. There ain't no laws or rules. In Houston, they ain't got no zoning. You can just build and build and build and build and keep building. Can't do that in California. We got the rules, we got the regulations, we got the bay. Like in Bay Area, we got a bay, so you can't build on that. We got a bunch of hills and mountains. You can build on that, but the cost of it is prohibitive. And you probably can't put no housing in the mountains, in the hills. So we're restricted. So the demand is outrageous, right? And you want to buy in a great time where you get a discounted price and you can get that rental demand. Key is you got to work with people who know what they're doing. Everyone didn't lose their buildings in COVID because of the rental moratorium or the eviction moratorium, by the way. In fact, I track foreclosures, and while they're up significantly, it's less than a handful of buildings in the city of Oakland that were lost because of the eviction moratorium, because of the crazy, and I will agree, it was crazy, it was wrong, it was crazy. But yet and still, several people have their buildings, maybe they're old rent, but they still are rocking, and they probably bought them at higher prices. So you can buy a great deal. And by the way, the eviction moratorium is gone in the city of Oakland, it's gone in San Francisco. I don't know about LA, but I'm probably sure it's going in LA. So you can now evict people for not paying your rent. It wasn't gonna stay like that forever. Just like in 2009 when they told me, oh, the market's, it'll never come back. Oh, it came back, right? So in 2022, when people, oh, I'll never be able to evict somebody. I was like, nah, just be patient. It's gonna happen. Now it's October 2023, the moratorium is gone, all right? So you have an ability to run your property again the way you want to. So very, very key, very, very important. And this is the third reason why you buy properties in California, in the Bay Area specifically, because if you own them long enough, and anybody give me a comment, all the people who say, I don't want California, but give me a comment if you bought properties in the 90s, if you bought properties in the 2000s at any point in time. I just want to get a little bit of feedback in terms of how that value, when we were at the peak in 21, what did that look like? Because I know a lot of people who didn't know anything about real estate or business in general buy properties and see a 4 to 5x on the value, not let alone the money they put down, on the value, right? I've seen that since I've been in the business since 03, right? So that's why you buy and you hold and you deal with the crap, the tenants, the toilets, the trash, the bureaucrats, the homelessness, the violence, everything that we have. There's a big pot of gold on the end of it if you can fight through it. We have a housing problem. We need people who are passionate about housing to be solvers of this problem. It's cool if you move out the state or you don't want to do no business in the state. That's understandable. It's cool. I get it. But if you are California and if you you got kids, you got the next generation, and you don't want to just pick up and leave, then you need to do something about it. It needs to be you buying these buildings. It needs to be you running your buildings. It needs to be you writing your bureaucrats and putting the pressure on them and not just leaving Dodge because that's what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? And that ain't nothing wrong with that, by the way. But at some point, we got to stand up and fight, man, in this golden state. I believe in this state. I don't believe in everything that's going on and how they're handling it and all that stuff, but that ain't about to run me up out of here. We're gonna stay here. We're committed to we're dedicated, committed to quality housing, and we need people like you who feel the same way. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a million comments talking crap, and that's all good. We're gonna take it because we taking a stand right here, and we're gonna find a way to get our clients, our investors into great deals. We're gonna provide housing, and we're gonna buy and hold because we know over a period of time that when you own in California, you will win. So it's West Coast on mine, like Pac said, you know what I mean? And I hope y'all tap in, give me your thoughts, give me your feedback, but let's be a part of this housing solution instead of just complaining and blaming somebody else. To the next video, deuces.